According to Joseph N. Gutierrez, the writer and researcher of Evaluation of Paper Straws versus Plastic Straws, on November 2019, he writes that the estimated disposable plastic straw consumption in the U.S. is between 170 million to 490 straws per day. You should listen to me because plastic straws have been an issue for years, and all it's going to do is continue to hurt our oceans and cause our pollution to grow if we do not make a change. In this speech, I will argue that the use of plastic straws should be banned completely in fast food places and restaurants because they are causing harm to our environment. There are 3 important things you should know. First, I will argue that the plastic straws are still being handed out even though they are supposed to be banned from these places. Second, I will argue that these plastic straws are causing problems with our oceans and the animals inside. Third, I will argue there are other alternatives that can be used in place of a plastic straw. The cause of all of this is that restaurants and fast food places are still giving out a number of straws daily. Restaurants do have a request only for plastic straws, but if you request for a straw, they can give it to you. So that is still, it's not completely banned from restaurants. We are still able to receive plastic straws. Fast food places are still giving out plastic straws with every drink that they hand out. As Tantua Kelly states in the Waikato Times, that if the fast food giant adopts a straw on request policy, that other fast food outlets will follow. Basically what she's saying is that if the top tier of fast food places changes their changes to a straw on request policy, other fast food places will follow. And eventually all of our fast food places will follow this policy. The plastic straws are getting into our oceans, causing more and more pollution every day. As the LA Times states on October 1st, 2019, that plastic straws were the 6th most collected item on California coastal cleanup days from 1988 till 2016. The problem with this is that plastic straws are causing pollution in our oceans and hurting the animals inside. Plastic straws are thrown into the ocean or thrown into the trash, which then causes them to be littered into our oceans. If plastic straws continue to be handed out, all it's going to do is continue to hurt our oceans. According to the World Economic Forum, by 2050, the oceans will contain more plastic than fish, pound for pound. Plastic straws aren't recyclable either, like other plastics can be. Plastic straws, according to the website for a Strawless Ocean, they state that most plastic straws are too lightweight to even make it through the mechanical recycling sorters, so they just drop right through and end up in our oceans. As Joseph N. Gutierrez states in his Bioresources EBSCO host, that plastic pollution in oceans chokes and entangles sea life. It also is linked to diseases on coral reefs as well as decreases the reproduction and population in our oceans. A solution to the straws being banned is that we can look for alternatives in straws. So instead of using a plastic straw, we can switch to a metal straw, a silicone straw, or even a paper straw. With these straws, they can be used over and over again, unlike plastic straws that just get thrown in the trash after one use. According to the research and markets, the world's largest market research state that the global reusable straw market grew a CAGR of around 12% during the period of 2014 to 2019. They also state it is safer and more convenient to use easily cleanable straws, and as well as it helps lower the levels of pollution. Fast food places and restaurants should get rid of plastic straws completely ban them. Some sort of straws are still needed, like for example, someone who is disabled may need a straw to eat or drink their food, or eat or drink in general. So they can look for an alternative. They can use a silicone straw instead of a plastic straw, or a metal straw, or even a paper straw. So even though some people still need straws, we can find alternatives instead of using plastic. So today, I talked about 3 reasons as to why plastic straws should be banned completely. We discussed how plastic straws are still being handed out and causing harm to our environment. They're causing problems with the oceans and the animals inside them. And lastly, there are other alternatives that can be used in place of a plastic straw. So now that you know more about plastic straws and why they should be banned from restaurants and fast food places, I encourage you to stay away from plastics, and maybe even for yourself, look into using an alternative such as paper straws, metal straws, or even silicone straws. Because according to Joseph N. Gutierrez, the writer and researcher of Evaluation of Paper Straws versus Plastic Straws, on November 2019, he writes that the estimated disposable straw consumption in the U.S. is between 170 million and 490 straws per day. If we don't do anything, the only thing that's going to happen is that these numbers are going to go up, as well as the pollution in our oceans.